Happy Friday, everybody. Greg Unthank here, Plum Tree Realty, Veterans United, Alliance Realty Network. Thanks so much for tuning in again this week as we kind of continue our series on getting ready for the busier market that's just around the corner. And this week, we're going to talk about kind of setting the table for presenting your offer. A lot of you watching this probably have already seen our toolbox, our offer toolbox that we call it. And what that is a series of different strategies that you can use in a competitive situation. The idea is that you can set your offer apart from other offers that are on the table. So it's important to know what those are. You don't have to use any of them. You don't necessarily want to use all of them. But we have found over the years that this information is helpful in getting that house under contract. And if you're selling your home, it's good to know what some of these things are, because you'll probably be on the receiving end of many of these tools. So the first one is that you really want to try to limit your seller concessions if you're the buyer. So that would be closing costs, that would be the seller paying for things like a home warranty, anything like that that's going to reduce the bottom line of that home seller, you want to avoid in a competitive situation. Now, if a home has been sitting on the market for a while and we don't detect that we're necessarily in competition, then it's not a bad idea to try to put that stuff in there. If you absolutely need it, it's not the end of the world. We might just have to offer on several homes before we find an owner who can do that. But ideally, you want to try to pay your own closing costs and things like that if you possibly can. The another thing to look at is when you make your offer, you want to determine whether you're wanting to go in low and negotiate versus going in with what we call a shock and awe offer. And the reason that we talk about that, again, in situations where we're going to be competitive, you might not get another chance to come back at that seller with a different offer. Many buyers assume that if they submit something, the seller's going to counteroffer that or put you in multiple offers where you get one more chance to make a bid. That might not happen. So in some cases, it's a good idea to put in the best possible offer, a number that if you don't get the house, then it wasn't meant to be. Kind of the little brother to the shock and awe offer is the escalation clause. And what an escalation clause does is it builds in some elasticity to your offer. So you can offer a number that you would like to pay, but you would go higher if you had to. So if there are other offers that come on the table that are higher than yours because of how we worded your offer, you could move to the top of the heap there and be the offer that's chosen by that seller, where without the escalation clause, you would have lost out because the seller would have no knowledge that you were willing to go up if there were other offers on the table. The last one would be, at least of the few I'm going through here, would be the home inspection. Home inspections probably terminate more contracts than lending decisions or anything like that. Somebody puts a house under contract, they do their due diligence and decide that they no longer want the property. So as a home seller, that's something that you're going to be concerned about, because in addition to, number one, does the offer I'm choosing satisfy what I want to receive proceeds-wise? Number two, do I think it's going to close? And if it doesn't close, it doesn't really matter what the price and terms are. So that's where those inspections come in. So back to the buyer, when you write your offer, we oftentimes put in verbiage that puts some limitations on what's going to trigger you from exiting the agreement. So for example, we might say that we're going to do our inspection, but we're only going to call out items that are over a certain amount of money. So that way you're telegraphing to that home seller that you're not interested in nitpicking over little things, but if there's something major, then you want to be able to act on it. As a home seller, when you receive an offer with an inspection contingency, you might want to counteroffer with something like that, or at least have us talk to the buyer's agent to see what their thoughts are on, hey, you know, we're good with getting the house inspected, but we don't want to be fixing a lot of stuff. I've got 2 other offers here. Would your buyer be willing to put in some kind of limitations on what they might ask for as the result of a whole house inspection? So our offer toolbox list is certainly available to you. Just let me know. I'm happy to send out a copy to you. We'll certainly be reviewing that as we start to look at properties and consider different options. And if you're going to put your house on the market, we're going to be talking about that stuff as well as things that we can expect as offers are sent to us. So I hope that helps. Any questions about any of that? Any questions about anything we've talked to in any of the other videos? Just ring me up and happy to chat to you about it. Have a great Friday. Have a better weekend, and we'll talk to you next time.